everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we are here at beautiful Manelli Park and I have my cross bike and my gravel bike side by side. The converted cyclocross bike is the Santa Cruz Stigmata CC and it retails for $3,800. The gravel bike is the Live Devout and it is the women's version of the Giant Revolt, and this bike retails for $2,600. Over the next couple of months I will be upgrading this bike, so stay tuned because at some point I will be doing a more apples to apples comparison so that you can get a more fair idea of what you can get for the same price point for these two bikes. So like many people who get into gravel riding, I started out with a cross bike that I later modified into a gravel rig, and I recently got a gravel bike. I actually have an introduction to my gravel bike video. I will link it down below or I'll put a link somewhere up here. So today we're going to be doing a side-by-side bike comparison to show you how these bikes stack up so that you can decide whether if a dedicated gravel bike is the right choice for you. Today we're going to be taking these two bikes in a number of different sections of this park to see how well they perform and so that you can decide which bike would be best for you depending on the type of riding that you do. So are we ready? Are we ready? Let's go! So I started the paved flat section with the Santa Cruz cross bike, and honestly, I didn't notice a significant difference between this one and the Live Devout. They both ride really smoothly on the flats. Maybe the only difference is that the fit on the Devout is a lot nicer because it's fitted to my size. But other than that, they both ride really well. I had a very similar experience on the paved climb and descent as I did on the flats. I feel like this bike or both bikes ride really well on pavement, whether it is flat or, you know, a climb and descent. Again, the only difference is that I'm a lot more comfortable on the Live Devout, especially when I get on the drops. It feels really natural and normal to do that. And on the Santa Cruz, I feel a little bit stretched out when I get on the drops. So that's the only difference. Again, it has nothing to do with how the bike rides. It's more of a fit issue for me because I always had problems with the Santa Cruz. It's a little bit big for me, and that's why I got the Live Devout. But they are both great bikes to ride on paved terrain, whether it is flats or whether you're climbing and descending. I find that there isn't a huge difference. And I intentionally picked a really cracked paved road to see if I noticed any differences with the bumps or anything like that, but I didn't find any difference. I did my first run of the flowy single track section on my Santa Cruz Stigmata cyclocross bike, and right off the bat I noticed that this bike was very fast, very maneuverable, and it feels very agile. The one thing though that I noticed is that it is very stiff, so you're gonna feel everything on the ground. For example, when I went over this curve right here, I felt like the curve was gonna kick me off the bike. And that's something that I wanted to pay close attention for the second run on the Live Devout to see if I notice a significant difference there. But we'll see once I do the second run, and I'll let you know. This is my second run of this section and I'm doing it on my Live Devout gravel bike. Right away, I noticed that this bike doesn't feel as speedy as the Santa Cruz Stigmata, but it does feel more robust and very comfortable. I know we've talked about how this bike fits me better than the Santa Cruz, but I also think it has a lot to do with the build of the frame. This bike has a sloping top tube and that design allows it for it to feel like you have more control over your ride and it feels very stable. So for example, when I went over the curve this time, I didn't feel like the curve was gonna kick me off my bike like I did with the Santa Cruz. In fact, it felt very safe and natural to go over that section. So I'm really looking forward to riding over rockier sections and loose conditions to see if I notice any differences. I rode the steep gravel climb section on the Santa Cruz cross bike first. It is very responsive when riding through tight turns or avoiding little rocks and bumps and things like that. It is very agile. I've ridden this bike up many gravel climbs, very steep ones too, and I'm very used to how it rides. Also, if I have to get off my bike or walk some sections, it is really easy to throw this bike over your shoulder and carry the bike because it has a really big, spacious main triangle. I did my second run on the Live Devout gravel bike and it is super comfortable, though not as responsive as the Santa Cruz. And I could tell here when I rode this tight turn, it kind of threw me to the outside and then it was kind of hard to maneuver around these rocks and bumps and stuff. But I guess the comfortableness of it makes up for the agility and all the other positive aspects of the Santa Cruz. And I don't know, I was just kind of surprised at how similar they ride up a gravel climb. Though if I wanted to walk this one through a difficult section, it would be hard because of the limited space in the main triangle. I never really perceived a significant difference until riding these two bikes back to back on a gravel descent. We chose this really quick one with kind of a loose section here on the turn. I'm on the Santa Cruz right now and it definitely feels less stable when going down this quick descent. So here I'm on the Live Devout and you probably can't tell from the video, but I definitely felt safer on this one and definitely safer on this little loose section. I feel like it's a lot more stable and it's a lot faster on this descent. Here I'm on the Santa Cruz and honestly I felt a little scared going around this little turn. And then when I got on the Live Devout, I felt a little safer with a lot more control. I even pedaled through this little turn. So I don't know, I might not look faster, but I definitely felt faster. I don't think I've talked about this, but I definitely sit higher on the Santa Cruz cross bike. And that already makes it feel slightly less stable when going down quick descents and bumpy descents like this one. The bike is also faster and very responsive, so you're gonna feel all the little bumps and rocks and things underneath you. With the Live Devout, I feel more stable and the bike itself is more compliant and better suited to rockier sections, so it's gonna feel safer to ride in these types of conditions. So to summarize, the biggest difference I noticed between these bikes was really just how similar they actually felt. There wasn't a huge difference between them, and overall on the pavement, I couldn't really notice any major difference. Off-road, the Santa Cruz is less compliant and more agile, which does make it feel faster, but also it is rougher over bumpy sections and can kick you off your bike or off your line. The gravel bike is much more compliant, which gives it a ride that feels a little less fast and a little less snappy, but it is much more comfortable and easier to ride through rough sections. So overall, I would recommend if you're riding over flowy, smoother, fast sections and you want a bike that feels really fast and really responsive, then the cyclocross bike would be the way to go. If you want to be able to do epic rides and bumpy, steep descents without feeling like you're going to be kicked off the bike, then the gravel bike is a better option. Other considerations are that a gravel bike is often going to come with a much wider tire clearance and with more mounting points. But keep in mind that the cross bike may have better shoulder mounting and is likely going to be slightly lighter.
Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next video.